Welcome to my Hosim monster truck review. 28.5 miles an hour for less than 110 bucks. Let's see just what we get for our money with a Hosim monster truck. Well, good evening my fellow Driftomaniacs, Richie here, and this is my Hosim monster truck review. Hosim? Never heard of them. Neither did I until I was trawling Amazon the other night. I recognise that many people out there don't have like the mega budgets for something like a UDR. Everybody has to start somewhere. So I do like testing these smaller cars to see if I can find, because I'm convinced there is an absolute gem out there that's a bargain. This is just over just under $110 on Amazon. Link to it below the video should anybody want one. What is there to like about this? 4-wheel drive, independent suspension, monster truck, 110 scale, fully hobby grade, as you will see in just a second. And on the outside of this box, 46 kilometers an hour top speed. That's 28.5 miles an hour. That's very close to the top speed a certain other manufacturer advertises all theirs are. So do you want to see exactly what you get for your money and exactly what spec this car is, which is why I rate it so highly on paper? Fingers crossed, I'm going to do a full GPS test and outdoor bashing test with it this week to see just how good it is. Anyway, let me walk you through the unboxing. We'll see what we get for our money. Okay, before I get the Hosim monster truck box opened, first thing that will jump out at you is this speed, 46 kilometers an hour. That equates to 28.5 miles an hour. I'm going to be putting the GPS on it later this week, so we'll either prove or disprove that. And it's got 4-wheel drive and independent suspension all round, but that's just one of the very basic features it's got. What more does it have? Let's have a look to see. Oh, it's waterproof to IPX4, by the way. It's nice that somebody actually quotes a waterproof standard rather than just saying our car's waterproof. They actually quote what standard is waterproof to. Liking that from the start. More people could learn from that. Hint, hint. I'm going to get it out of the box in just 2 seconds. But first things first, which I didn't actually notice when I purchased the thing, is it doesn't come just with one motor. It comes with 2 motors here. So we've got a dual motor setup, and I claim this thing will climb up a 45-degree slope. So yours truly will also be putting that to the test. We've got metal drive cups contained throughout. It's got full bearings throughout the car, which at this price point pretty much unheard of. So very impressed with that. Metal transmission throughout there as well. The keen rider amongst you will also have noticed that we've got twin shocks at the rear, although only singles at the front. Twin shocks at the rear is good indication this thing's meant to put up with some power. 60 amp ESC, complete with a 2S LiPo 1600 milliamp hour on there, so I'm thinking that will give you 15 minutes runtime or thereabouts. And the one thing I would say, just before I get the box open, transmitter on this one looks very, very good. The tyres on this baby, oh, they've got foam inserts in them. Again, this price point, that's a good indicator. Let's get the damn box open, Richie. Now, to anyone that's seen my unboxings, is this going to be a classic Richie undoing the thing and it being upside down? Fingers crossed. It's not going to be. We've got our instruction manual in here. Let's have a quick flick through this, see what we got. Basic setup guide. Looks like we've got a mains power charger as opposed to USB one, which is a good sign. How to set up your steering trim, etc. on there. As I said, the transmitter on paper looks pretty good, so I can't wait to get out of the box. Troubleshooting guide, always a good sign. Oh, parts. We like parts because this shows the thing is definitely hobby grade on there. Exploded diagram, so you can work on the thing. As I say, twin motors. Cannot wait to see that. Is it going to be upside down, Richie? Come on, have a vote, people. Have a guess. Nope, we're the right way up this time. Squeezing that beyond. That's not looking bad at all there, Richie. Slide it out of the box. What are our first thoughts on that, people? I'm quite liking that paint job. Anyway, let me figure out how to remove it from this packaging. I'll tell you one thing, looking at it now, straight away, it's just about as wide as it is long, which is a good sign in terms of stability. Okay, sliding the end open, guessing in here, we've got our battery charger at a guess in there. Transmitter is going to require a bit more work to get to. Okay, well it's quite well packed, which is always a good sign. It's the car itself. Well, having removed the transmitter from the packaging, we've got our throttle, brake, steering on there, antenna. On the top here we have got steering. You're able to reverse the steering. We've got steering trim and steering dual rate. I highly rate transmitters that come with the steering dual rate on there, which allows you to control the amount of steering input, which makes it much easier for beginners to get to grips with this thing, and you can then change it if you're more advanced. It's also got a speed mode from low to high speed, so if you want to learn with it, or you want the kids playing with it, you can have it switched in low mode. Nice sturdy feel to it. It's quite lightweight, but it's still nice and sturdy feel to it. Now, despite it showing a picture in the instruction manual of a mains power charger, we do indeed have the ubiquitous USB charger in here. I am actually becoming quite a fan of these because you can plug them in your car, like I can plug them in my car when I'm driving along and charge the battery up. So you're not just limited to USB socket at home. You can actually charge them up when you're driving to your venue as well. We've got a little mini toolkit in here. Oh, spare body clips. Spare body clips, always a big plus in my mind. And we've got a little mini wheel wrench on it, but that's the only other bits included. Anyway, let me get the camera off the tripod. Let's have a look around this car. Well, my initial thoughts on the Hosim monster truck, having got it out of the box, I'm loving this body shell. Pretty nice paint scheme on it, quite eye-popping. But I shall do a full suspension test in just 1 second. Quite like the look of the tyre pattern. Anyway, let me get the camera off the tripod. Let's have a spin around and take a close-up look at this baby. And starting around at the back, the first thing that you'll notice is that big impact bumper on there. Quite a decent amount of ground clearance as well, but I shall do a full suspension test in just a second. And immediately I've noticed a lot of metal in the back there. We've got metal drive cups on the outside, steel drive shafts on there, and we've also got metal cups on the inside, which is a very good sign, and you can't miss those dual shocks. Anyway, let's go around and walking around the body. Not too bad a tyre tread pattern, but the proof is in the eating of the pudding, shall we say, because I've seen cars with good tyres on before that have subsequently not run very well. Things like the Lupton S9125 spring to mind. Looks like it should be super stable. As I say, it is nearly as wide, if you can see that, as it is long on there. Again, we got a nice impact bumper on the front. Going along from front to rear. Nice little pickup style design. Anyway, let's get that body off and see what we've got for our money. Now, I have no idea what to expect on there, as this is the first view of it on a nice Lexan shell on there, so you're going to be able to bash this around without any problems. Ta-da! That's nice and compact. Quite liking these design of the car like this. Nice weight to it. Quite a sturdy feel to it. We've got a lot of plastic in the top on here. This everything appears to feel pretty well made and quite well balanced. Okay, starting at the front again, we've got the metal drive cups on the inner and outer parts of the shaft. Nice steel drive shafts on there. We've got single shocks on the front on here. The way it's bouncing up and down, I'm not sure if they're oil filled or friction without looking at the manual. So we've got a nice impact bumper on there. That's a little bit more flexible than it looks, maybe more flexible than a Traxxas one. It's got quite a rubbery feel to it, as though it's designed to absorb the impact rather than just bounce off a wall if you hit it, if you know what I mean, on there, folks. Everything, all the radio gear is obviously self-contained in here, but we'll have a look as close as we can at that in a minute. We've got our ESC set on the top, I guess here for cooling. Yeah, whole surface, do not touch. Moving on down to the back. We've got the dual shocks on either side, and again, as I say, a lot of metal in there. At the rear, oh, rear impact bumper. Now this is very rigid. It's more flexible at the edges there, but very rigid compared to the shock absorbing capability of the one at the front. But then again, most of the time you're unlikely to hit anything in reverse too hard. As I say, again, I need to check on those shocks, sort of the friction shocks or oil shocks. But it does have ball bearings throughout. On-off switch here. Now, typically, I am guessing our battery is located inside of here. DIN connector, good sign. At least you can know it's going to have a bit of poke to it with the DIN connector fitted to the thing. As I say, 1600 milliamp 2S LiPo on there, so it should hit that 28.5 mile an hour speed they quote, but I will put the GPS on to see. all the electrics, everything else pretty much servo and receiver, pretty much self-contained in there. Flipping the car over, we can see our wishbones on there, nice smooth chassis plate, and you've got the skid plates over both of the differentials. The plastic these are made out of feels quite tough. It's got a little bit of flex in there, but quite tough at the same time, so I'm hoping that's going to prove quite durable, but I will, in my normal style, test the hell out of the thing. Okay, as ever, the important bit, suspension test, see how much travel we've got on there. Quite pleased the amount of clearance in there. You've got the best part of 2 inches clearance underneath the thing, so coming up on, guess, a couple of inches travel on the front on there, which is not bad at all. Spin it round to the rear. Again, that's quite impressive travel on there, but then it is a monster truck. 2.5 inches on the rear, I would say. Damping wise, it's the rear and the front. The front is a little softer in terms of the damping than the rear. Well, let me know your first thoughts on the Hosim monster truck, people. I've not got too bad a feel on this one. We've got a sturdy weight in there, so it's probably, I'm thinking maybe 4 pounds or so on there, which was a good sign. The fact the rear is more heavily damped than the front indicates it's put up for the bit of bashing and hard landing. It's certainly got the clearance for getting some reasonable air on there. Ground clearance, this thing has not just been designed for tarmac with that level of ground clearance. This thing's been designed for doing quite a bit of bashing as well. We've also got a twin motor setup. It's a shame I can't remove this cover to show you that on there, but there's 2 motors lurking in here, which should mean it's got quite a lot of torque to be turning these big tyres. Will the tyres provide the necessary grip for the kind of terrain that most of us go over? The proof will be in the eating of the pudding, or the proof will be in the testing, more to the point. Overall, I'm thinking this is quite a lot of bang for the buck if it does everything it says on the lid. 45-degree climbing, that's going to be quite impressive, and I will be putting that to the test. Okay, well, just putting it back together for the night while I go off and charge the battery. This design, whilst it doesn't allow you to get lots of immediate access to electronics, it also prevents all the dirt and rubbish and stuff and that from going in, so it should be relatively easy to keep clean and be fairly low on maintenance. He says, fingers crossed. Body shell fits on very nicely indeed. It has quite a nice punchy look for it for the money. There is a link to it below the video should you want one. Anyway, I'm going to charge this up and go and do a speed test and a bashing test outside as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this car. As I say, I like kind of testing this stuff because I realise that not everybody has got a huge budget, and sooner or later, I know in my Amazon purchases, I'm going to find an absolute gem that people are going to go, oh, I want one of those. Is this going to be the one? The outdoor test will be the proof or not. Anyway, if you like this video, you want to see more of this car, then please do consider subscribing. Anyway, off to charge my battery up on my USB charger overnight. We hope you liked this video. If you did, please click on the circle image to subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, then don't forget to hit that little notifications bell next to it.